Well, good morning folks, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the beautiful Yorkshire Dales. And we've just been making our way up Cove Road, which goes up the side of Malham Cove. And I thought, because we're out on a solo ride today and I think we've got time, just about got enough time. So we're just going to walk down and have a closer look at the mighty Malham Cove. It's a absolutely massive ice age formed limestone cliff, just a mile or two outside of Malham. It's a really lovely walk along the river at the bottom, and it's quite the climb on a bicycle getting up here. It's a lovely sort of punchy little climb. And this is an area I know pretty well. I've been cycling around here for years and years, but I was just thinking the other day, it's probably been about 15 years since I came up here walking. So the little loop I'm going to do today is probably about 20-25 miles. Essentially skirts around Parson's Pulpit, which is I think one of the lesser known sort of smaller fells in this sort of, I suppose, southeastern corner of the Dales. And we're going to go over and down into Littondale, and then we're going to climb back up out of the Dale. That'll be a steep climb, mixture of road and gravel, kind of mixed terrain, fairly easy loop. It's got quite a bit of elevation, but nothing we haven't got time for today. And I've never explored whether from the road you can get to the cove, but this looks promising, this little footpath. And yeah, if we make it up to the top, I'll check back in with you. I haven't got any of my well, I forgot my little screw for the GoPro, so all I've got today is the camera. No tripod, no harness or anything, so gonna have to be a little bit creative with the filming, I think. But yeah, let's go. Okay, I've just stashed the bike behind that wall there, and I'm doing the last little bit on foot. Oh yeah.
You're going to ride down now.
I've not been up here for about 20 years.
Pardon?
I've not been up here for about 20 years.
It's time for me, so.
It's got this strange broken limestone top. It's real broken ankle territory here. Very, very worn with thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of people tramping all over this every year. Not hundreds of thousands every year, but very polished, weathered limestone. But it's an absolutely spectacular view down into Malham. And as long as nobody nicks my bike, it's a really nice little detour. That, ladies and gents, is one of the classic Yorkshire Dales views. Rightly so. Isn't it stunning? Right, am I allowed to use the word stunning vista here? You be the judge. I think so. It's just this low level mist in the distance. The cold ground starting to warm up a little bit. Beautiful. Well, if my bike is still here, yes it is. So the limestone terraces just sort of flatten out here and they narrow, and what would have been the original river course back at the end of the last ice age. That would have been one spectacular waterfall going down over Malham Cove. These days there's a river that comes out from the bottom, and I know over the years there's been all sorts of surveys and tests done to kind of trace that watercourse. I think it has been traced, I'm not up on the details particularly. But yeah, what a fantastic start to the ride, and first climb of the day successfully navigated. And our next detour is going to be to Malham Tarn, which is just over the horizon I think here. It's a very popular spot for, you know, day trippers. It forms part of a really great walk, which I think I'll talk about later in the video, and it's a real great spot for twitching. Is that the name? Bird watching? It's not my thing, but if anything that gets you out to these places, it can't be all bad, can it? Oh man, I wish I'd brought my little attachment, because filming that little off-road section that we've just done from the Cove Road, that was so much fun. I've picked up about 2 more kilos of mud on my tyres, which is not too bad because it's still really cold, so there's a lot of frozen turf around. It's not hard ice though, it's just right so your wheels kind of dig into it a little bit, but don't get too clogged up. Yeah, absolutely superb riding so far. And we've just picked up the, can I do this with one hand? Oh. We just picked up the walker's path. And we're just following this around sort of anti-clockwise before we start heading over, what would it be, northeast down into Littondale. You know that thing where you don't look carefully at the route and there's a massive hill before the big climb that you think is next? Well, here's one. Pretty nice though. Just passing Kilnsey Crag here. It's a great sport climbing spot on warmer days. Right, I think this is where we turn off and start heading back up towards the bridleways, back over to Malham. But before we do, we're going to have all butter flapjack from the co-op and the pièce de la résistance, a nice hot cup of tea, because we can. A proper steep climb straight out of Kilnsey, but it's quite welcome to warm up a little bit. Final big pull now, back up to something like 1100 feet, 1200 feet, and then we'll be starting the descent into Malham. Hopefully no hidden surprises this time. Climbs that I'm not expecting. Here's where we are. Just continual up. This is one of those bridleways where you can see where you're going and how much climbing you've got to do, and you're just thinking, oh boy. Yep, straight up and over that, and I'm sure that looks very insignificant on the camera. From where I'm sitting right now, it looks quite daunting. Slow and steady. Holy moly, this is a real world mountain bike VO2 max ramp test. It's just getting steadily steeper. We're in the yellow back there, we're now in the orange on my little Wahoo, and the last little bit, which I appreciate will look flat on the camera, is dark red. But we'll get to the top here, and then I just want to finish the video, I guess, by telling you about a classic Malham walk that I used to do, and it's actually informed the particular route back that I've chosen. I'll chat to you about that when we get up to the top. Bloody hell, what a last climb. Oh, I really hope this is the last climb of this ride. I need an e-bike. Note to self, you might need to edit that out. So earlier in the ride, when I was just making my way back to the bike off Malham Cove, off the top, there was a group who I think looked like one of them had really scared themselves a little bit. Maybe the sort of vertigo had kicked in, but they were just being kind of coaxed down. It was nice to see their friends just kind of being really patient with them and helping them down the steps, and you know, looking at them objectively, they were walking down something that's easier to walk down than your stairs at home. But I think when you've lost your head, you kind of just freeze. And you know, I've never had that around Malham Cove, thankfully, but I've certainly had that out climbing, and I remember that happening on Dow Crag and Tower Ridge up in the Highlands in winter. You get scared and then you just sort of freeze, and you got to keep moving. There's you don't move, you don't get out of that situation. But it sort of reminded me of a lovely hike that you can do, which takes in Malham Cove and Malham Tarn, where we visited on this ride, and then comes back, or if you reverse it, goes up a place called Gordale Scar. And we're actually going to go past Gordale Scar on the way down. We're still on the tops here, but we're going to descend down, back down towards Malham. And I'm not sure there's enough daylight, and I'm not sure there's enough battery in my camera for me to be able to kind of take that detour and show you Gordale Scar. But it just reminded me what a fantastic little hiking route that is. And it's a real, I mean, we always used to take friends and like relatives from the south of England, from like Kent and stuff, who, you know, didn't really know very much about the Dales. We'd always take them on that little hike because it's like 8 to 10 miles. I think it's quite doable for somebody who's got a, you know, a basic level of fitness. And there's a little bit of scrambling in Gordale Scar. It's a really atmospheric place, really kind of steep sided gorge. I think it's more impressive than Malham Cove, and I must show that to you next time if you know, if I'm not able to on this ride. And there's a little bit of scrambling. It's not even grade 1 scrambling, but I think it gives people who aren't used to that sort of terrain a real sense of achievement. And you know, you get up and you can go over to Malham Tarn, and there's like picnic spots galore, and it's beautiful and all that sort of stuff. And then you can descend down, you know, down from Malham Cove, and that lovely walk down the river to Malham. And just kind of remind me, I mean, it's been probably 20 years since I've done that walk, but I must come up and get the hiking boots on and do it again, because it's a lovely little route, and it's just such a chilled little part of the Dales, I think. And if you catch it midweek and maybe off season like I am today, you'll still see a few people, but you get the peace and quiet, and you get the atmosphere, and hopefully you don't get cyclists blathering into GoPros disturbing your peace and quiet. But yeah, just about to come off the tops, I think. Here there's not much more. I don't think there's any more ascending on the ride. It's really starting to cloud over. Sun is properly setting, and I think I've mentioned a few times on rides, and you know, I've stopped at these late in the day positions where you're just still on the tops and you're about to kind of descend back to the village or the car or whatever. And you know, I know rush hour is starting, and the roads are starting to the traffic on the roads is starting to build up, but you've just got all this stunning landscape to yourself. It feels like it's such a great part of these rides, and it's almost worth setting off a little bit late, which I did today, to get yourself into these late in the day positions. It's very special. Anyway, stop blathering, Martin. You've still got a few miles to go that way. Wow, what a descent this is going to be. Gordale Lane. Would you look at that? Sun setting, mist on the hills, not a soul in sight. Beautiful. And I need to put you away now because this is getting steep. How cool is this? It's like something out of a film set. It's just awe-inspiring. I don't know how much I'm able to convey on the camera. Oh wow. I've not seen it with such a lot of water coming down. I can't remember being up in conditions where there's two massive waterfalls. I might be misremembering, but just how spectacular is that? And the sort of bouldering, the scrambling route goes diagonally up that middle boulder, and then I think you cut round to the left. And when you get onto the top, you see all these rock climbers doing their thing on the steep-sided walls. It's absolutely amazing, and it's quite something when you can't get the whole place in a frame on a wide-angle GoPro lens. What a place! It's just absolutely awe-inspiring, and I don't know, if somebody comes around that bend and sees that and doesn't just think, bloody hell, that's amazing, yeah, you're not my kind of person, I'm afraid. Each to their own and all that, but Gordale Scar, it's an absolutely fantastic little hike, and you can, once you get onto the top, you can go over to Malham Tarn, picnic spots galore, and just kind of chill out and then come back down the cove. It's absolutely lovely little afternoon ramble, and a great place to take people for their first little experience of like the Yorkshire Dales, or first little kind of baby step hike, if you like. Absolutely love it. I've not been here for years. It's so nice to come back. Anyway, the light's really fading now. My battery's about to die on my GoPro. I completely forgot to bring a spare. So let's jump back on the bike. It's just amazing. Well folks, we're just about to hit Malham. It probably looks a little bit brighter than it actually is on the camera, but we've made it round without getting the front light on, which is great. We've got horses doing their thing on the top of the hill up there. You might not be able to see. The whole place is just like a film set around here, and it's so nice being, I guess, off season and midweek to have a little bit of a quiet vibe as well to some of the places that we visited. Malham Cove, you rarely get that to yourself. I suppose if you lived in Malham and you could get up super early on a summer morning, get up there at like 5:30, it would be, you know, even more atmospheric than it is. I wonder if that's the best view in the Dales. I have a soft spot myself for Deepdale. I really like north of Ripplehead when the sun's like setting behind the viaduct. That's a very, very special part of the Dales for me. But I think that view from the top of Malham Cove is certainly right up there. And Gordale Scar, I don't know if I managed to kind of capture that place on the little GoPro, but that's quite the spot. And especially late in the day, off season, I had the whole place to myself, and it for me that just makes it even more enjoyable. I think even more special. Like people, but I just love these experiences you can have on a bike late in the day out in the sticks. It's one of the main reasons why I come out and why I make the effort to get out. Anyway, enough blathering. Thank you so much for following along. If you made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing and all that good stuff. It would be great to have your company on future rides, and I really do appreciate everyone that follows along and supports the channel. But yeah, stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and happy cycling. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.